Good evening, ReNEWS English is on air. I am Sona Tumanyan. The Armenian Prime Minister's visit to Japan, a summary of the visit to China, golf-loving Trump and the Putin-Xi Jinping meeting. Watch all this in this episode. Nikol Pashinyan's visit to China concludes. Next stop, Japan. The development of China-Azerbaijan partnership in Shanghai. The Minsk group disbanded on Artsakh Independence Day. The EU observation mission isn't live in Armenia. Is Trump playing more golf than fulfilling presidential duties? Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, accompanied by his wife Anna Hakopian, has arrived in Beijing after a train journey from Tianjin. He is set to participate in a parade on September 3, marking the 80th anniversary of the end of the World War II. Pashinyan will also hold a key meeting with Chinese Vice President Han Zheng. The Armenian delegation received a warm reception sent off from Tianjin by Deputy Mayor Wang Xiufeng and greeted in Beijing by Yang Ying, Vice Chairman of the Beijing National Political Consultative Conference. We will not go into the details of the process now, but I can say that we see a quite constructive approach and mutual understanding regarding Armenia's membership. A spokesperson for the Armenian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, acknowledging ongoing discussions regarding our membership to Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Armenia currently holds dialogue partner status within the SCO, position it has maintained since 2016. Despite no change to Armenia's official status within the SCO during the summit, a crucial joint statement on the establishment of strategic partnership between the Republic of Armenia and the People's Republic of China was signed. A detailed look at Pashinyan's China trip follows.
The Tianjin Declaration of the Council of Heads of State, signed as a result of the 25th Summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, affirms the unified position of member countries on global and regional challenges. The declaration confirms the unified goal of member states to form a multipolar world order, positioning the SCO as a geopolitical pole counterbalancing Western-led alliances. The signed document reaffirms readiness for cooperation between China's One Belt, One Road initiative and the EAEU. Armenia is a member of the EAEU, although it has expressed readiness to join the SCO. By the way, perhaps membership in both structures will be possible, as Russia, for example, does. However, it is incompatible with membership in the European Union. There was nothing about Armenia in this declaration, and Armenia's official status in the SCO did not change as a result of the summit. Armenia continues to be a dialogue partner since 2016. But during the summit, a joint statement on establishing a strategic partnership between the Republic of Armenia and the People's Republic of China was signed. This marks a new level of bilateral relations. China officially stated that it resolutely supports Armenia's political independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, and Armenia declared that it recognizes Taiwan as part of China. During the summit, Nikol Pashinyan met with leaders of several countries, including Putin, Erdogan, and Aliyev. Also on the summit's agenda was the issue of granting Azerbaijan dialogue partner status in the SCO. According to Indian media, India opposed this, with the reason being obvious. Azerbaijan is a close ally of India's sworn adversary, Pakistan, and since decisions in the SCO are made by consensus, one dissenting vote could block Azerbaijan's entry. There was also circulating information that the Pakistani delegation in turn spoke about blocking Armenia's application if India continued this policy. On this topic, the MFA spokesperson told Armen Press, "At this moment, we will not delve into the details of the process, but I can say that we see a sufficiently constructive approach and mutual understanding regarding Armenia's membership." Simone Hovhannisyan, ReOpen Media.
The Prime Minister of Armenia also made a new post on his Facebook page. Let's hear it.
What is the difference between today's and the former republics of Armenia? In the past, the Republic of Armenia existed thanks to other countries for other countries. Today, the Republic of Armenia exists thanks to itself, thanks to its citizens for its citizens. Glory to the martyrs and long live the Republic of Armenia.
Another piece of news from the official newsfeed, Deputy Prime Minister Maher Grigoryan received Magdalena Grono, EU Special Representative for the South Caucasus and the crisis in Georgia. The head of the EU delegation to Armenia, Ambassador Vasilis Maragos, was also present at the meeting. During the meeting, the agreements reached between Armenia and Azerbaijan in Washington on August 8 were discussed, and views were exchanged on agenda issues of Armenia-EU cooperation. And our next step is again China. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping held high-level discussions in Beijing today on the sidelines of events marking the 80th anniversary of the end of the World War II. The two leaders in their sixth interaction this year through a week were by phone reportedly delved into a range of bilateral relations and the current international agenda. Their conversation continued over tea, where Putin and Xi emphasized the further strengthening and development of the comprehensive partnership and strategic interaction between Russia and China. Earlier in the day, both presidents participated in a trilateral summit involving Russia, China, and Mongolia. The frequent engagements between Putin and Xi underscored the deepening ties between their nations amidst a complex global geopolitical landscape. The joint declaration on strategic partnership between Baku and Beijing was signed in 2024, and during the visit to Shanghai, the already developing partnership is further strengthened. I won't openly state the number of investments from the Chinese side, but now about the Armenian numbers. We also have statistics. In 2023, our trade with China amounted to $2.1 billion, and in 2024 it increased by 35%. That perspective on the Shanghai visit will be covered in a separate report.
Ilham Aliyev, during his 4-day visit to China, met not only with Chinese leader Xi Jinping, but also with the heads of Chinese technological and construction companies, discussing specific projects worth billions of dollars. These include the construction of solar and wind power plants, the expansion of the Baku International Seaport, and even the construction of new metro stations. The main political event of the visit, of course, was the meeting with Xi Jinping, where the two leaders reaffirmed that their countries are strategic partners. In his speech during the SCO Plus event, Aliyev specifically emphasized the importance of the so-called Zhengzhou corridor, presenting it as an integral and important part of the China-Europe Middle Corridor. Azerbaijan is very quickly and effectively becoming China's main partner in the region. The joint declaration on strategic partnership between Baku and Beijing was signed in 2024, with the parties agreeing to be not just trade partners, but long-term important allies on the global stage. The alliance is based on the Middle Corridor project, which is a China-Europe route bypassing Russia.
Over more than 30 years, Azerbaijan and China have formed a successful cooperation, and currently, bilateral ties are developing at the level of a comprehensive strategic partnership. Azerbaijani-Chinese cooperation is also strengthened within the framework of the One Belt, One Road initiative.
Since 1995, China has invested approximately $920 million in Azerbaijan, but Azerbaijan has invested more in China, about 2 times more. Sino-Azerbaijani trade has seen rapid growth, reaching $3.1 billion in 2023. Today, nearly 300 companies with Chinese capital operate in Azerbaijan. Thanks to all this, Azerbaijan is becoming a regional hub warehouse, from where goods continue their journey to Europe. What about Armenia? Although we still lag in terms of direct investment, trade figures are impressive. In 2023, our trade with China amounted to $2.1 billion, and in 2024, it increased by 35%. The ties between Armenia and China are based on numerous agreements signed since 1992. Recently, a document establishing a strategic partnership between Armenia and China was signed, and a joint statement was adopted.
The parties expressed their readiness to strengthen high-level political dialogue, regularly hold political consultations between the foreign ministries of the two countries, and expand communication between central and local authorities, as well as political parties, with the aim of exchanging experience and strengthening cooperation.
Armenian Foreign Minister Ararat Mirzoyan also commented on the event.
I am happy to accompany Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan to China, where we marked an important milestone, the establishment of a strategic partnership. We expect to deepen our cooperation for the benefit of our peoples, as a new chapter in expanding communication and opportunities.
Yerevan's main proposal is the crossroads of peace. Beijing has welcomed the idea. If it becomes a reality, Armenian-Chinese relations will reach an entirely new level, which will also bring large investments in the North-South Road and other projects. China is building alternative routes that bypass Russia. This means fewer transit fees and less influence for Moscow. Difficulties arose in Armenia-China relations in June 2020, when Armenia, yielding to an American initiative, joined the Alliance for Religious religious freedom or belief, which is considered an anti-Chinese initiative because it focuses on violations of religious freedom, particularly against Uyghurs and Tibetans in China. Armenia's joining this alliance was seen as interference in China's internal affairs, which contradicts Beijing's One China principle and religious policy. In July 2024, after recalling its ambassador, China did not appoint a new ambassador for 7 months, which was also a clear argument about the decline in relations. However, Yerevan's repeated assurances of adherence to the One China principle have smoothed out the wrinkles. Monica Hyroyan, ReOpen Media.
And here are several short news updates from the international news stream. The presidents of Iran and Russia have welcomed the growing friendly relations between their two countries, emphasizing the implementation of the Iran-Russia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Agreement as a catalyst for expanding bilateral cooperation. Masoud Pezeshkian stated that cooperation within the EA-EU framework would further accelerate and facilitate the deepening of ties between the two nations. Pezeshkian noted his personal commitment to expediting the implementation of all agreements with Russia and eliminating any possible obstacles. Iran's president also discussed agreements between Armenia and Azerbaijan with Turkish President Erdogan. Masoud Pezeshkian expressed support for establishing peace in the region and opposed any foreign military presence in the Caucasus. Last night, explosions rocked Kyiv and the nearby city of Irpin. Explosions from missile strikes also reverberated in Odessa's port. Air raid alerts were also declared in Russian settlements bordering Ukraine. An aid convoy consisting of dozens of ships for the starving people of Gaza departed from Barcelona on the evening of September 1st after returning to port due to stormy weather. Pro-Palestinian activists, including climate activist Greta Thunberg and actor Liam Cunningham, were on board the Global Summit flotilla, which aims to break Israel's naval blockade and deliver food and humanitarian aid to war-devastated Gaza. Azerbaijan has formally announced with satisfaction that the OSCE Minsk Group, the internationally recognized mediation format for the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, has ceased to exist as of today. Baku confirmed that all decisions adopted by the 33-year-old institution are now annulled. In Yerevan, Armenia's Minister of Foreign Affairs today received a letter from the OSCE chairman in office, who is also Finland's foreign minister. The letter confirms that the procedure for the dissolution decision was not violated by OSCE member states, and the decision is considered adopted as of September 1st. The move comes after a joint letter from the Armenian and Azerbaijani foreign ministers to the OSCE chairman in office requesting the termination of the Minsk process. The dissolution marks the end of an era for a diplomatic structure that has been at the center of peace efforts for over 3 decades, a development closely watched by regional and international observers. Monica Hyroyan contributed to this report. By the way, September 2nd is Artsak's Independence Day. On September 2, 1991, Artsakh declared its independence from the Soviet Union.
The OSCE Ministerial Council today adopted a decision to close the OSCE Minsk process and its associated structures. The decision was based on a joint letter sent by the foreign ministers of Armenia and Azerbaijan to the OSCE chairman in office after the Washington meetings on August 8th regarding the termination of the OSCE Minsk process, the activities of the personal representative of the OSCE chairman in office, and the high-level planning group. The decision also declares that all previously adopted OSCE decisions concerning the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict are null and void and no longer applicable. OSCE Chairman in Office Valtinin and Secretary General Sinirliu welcomed the decision to suspend the Minsk process. Both in the letter to dissolve the Minsk Group and in the decisions, and even in Sinirliu's welcome letter, there is no mention of what the conflict was about. The OSCE Minsk Group, mandated by a UN Security Council resolution in 1992 for the peaceful settlement of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, served for 3 decades as the only internationally recognized negotiation format. After the 2020 war, Baku declared that the conflict was resolved by military means, and therefore the activities of the Minsk Group were no longer relevant, while the same group's periodic statements emphasized that the issue had no military solution. The cessation of the Minsk Group's activities was such a fundamental issue for Baku that it became one of the most important points on the negotiating table. For Azerbaijan, the dissolution of this structure symbolizes two important goals: definitively closing the Karabakh issue. As long as the Minsk Group existed, theoretically, there was also a platform where the issue of Nagorno-Karabakh's status could be discussed. And secondly, the removal of mediators from the negotiation process. The group, co-chaired by Russia, the USA, and France, implied the active involvement of major powers. By dissolving it, Azerbaijan aims to maximally limit external interference and build relations with Armenia on a bilateral basis. For Aliyev, the Minsk Group was also a source of unpleasant memories accumulated over decades. In his recent interview with Al Arabiya, Aliyev called the Minsk Group hated, albeit legitimate. Monica Hyroyan, ReOpen Media.
The European Union's observation missions in Armenia will continue operating under its current mandate, even after a potential preliminary peace agreement between Yerevan and Baku. This was confirmed by EU Ambassador to Armenia Vasilis Maragos, responding to inquiries about whether a peace deal might necessitate the withdrawal of third forces from the border. Maragos stated that there is no need for any changes at this moment. He emphasized that both the Armenian people and authorities welcome the EU mission, which continues to carry out its activities in the country. The statement signals the EU's ongoing commitment to stability in the region. So, what would you do if you were the President of the United States? Which hobby would you dedicate more time to? Let's take President Donald Trump, for example. He reportedly spent nearly a third of his days in his second term playing golf. According to the White House press service, within 225 days since January 20th, he visited his golf club 66 times, accounting for 30% of his total time in office. On Labor Day, observed on the first Monday of September in the U.S., the head of state was at the Trump National Golf Club course near Sterling, Virginia. Today marks the 21st day of his second term that the president has spent at his club in Sterling. Journalists clarified they calculated that during his first term, Trump spent 307 days on golf courses, almost a quarter of his entire terms. These trips, including flight and security costs, reportedly set taxpayers back about $150 million. This much for today. I'm Sona Tumanyan. Good night.